Thank you, Joseph, and welcome everyone. And welcome to our first Leadership Circle Luncheon of 2025. Thank all the members that are present and those of you who are watching online. May I ask my staff to stand if you're not busy doing something else? Lance Peterson, you just saw, he's standing. Amy O'Donnell, Ashley Sosa, Reagan Hogan, Kristen Bagari, who was greeting us as we came in at the registration. Deirdre Cooper, you can stand, Deirdre, but you're watching at home, we know that. I want to recognize someone who has been a huge part of phenomenal growth of Texas Alliance for Life, particularly our financial development, and that is K.O. O'Keefe. It is K.O.'s birthday today. He's been a Leadership Circle member forever. K.O., would you stand? Where's K.O.? Yes. A lot of us know K.O. over the years. He chaired the Financial Development Committee and was on our board. And we really appreciate you, K.O. And his wife Cam's here too. We were really honored to be part of the Texas Rally for Life last month at the Capitol in Austin. How many people made it out to the Texas Rally for Life? It was a great turnout. DPS said we had around 4,000, maybe so. Well, we were part of the 63-member host committee that put on the event. The keynote speaker was U.S. Senator John Cornyn, a pro-life champion, who unfortunately, we worked with his staff for months to get him there and get it all pulled off. And then he had to be in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol, U.S. Capitol, the same day to vote on the president's cabinet appointments. But he did play an audio, which was really appreciated. State Representative Ellen Troxclair was also a speaker. Now, she's representing some of us here because she represents Western Travis County and some of the most beautiful counties in the Hill Country to the west. She kind of filled in for Senator Cornyn. Claire Caldwell, who's on our board of directors, also told her story of surviving a late-term abortion, which claimed the life of her unborn twin. And also our public policy analyst, Deirdre Cooper, told her story of her son, Bosco, who died during birth of trisomy 18. So it was just a sensational day for life. Now, here's a quick recap of the 2024 election results, already almost a distant memory. But good grief, we needed to revisit this for just a minute. The results were sensational. Now, we all saw these ads on TV again and again, abortion ads. And abortion issue was supposed to carry any pro-abortion candidate to victory in Texas and in the nation. Well, I think we know it didn't work out that way. Texas Alliance for Life's PAC and FedPAC made 130 endorsements. 124 of our endorsed candidates were victorious. We made special efforts to mail tens of thousands of our pro-life voter guides to pro-life voters across Texas. I think a lot of you, probably hopefully everybody, got this in the mail. And it's customized for each particular address, so it makes it very easy for you to vote pro-life. Also had information about where to vote. We also published our pro-life voter guide online, so anybody can go in and type in his or her address, get the same information, which we pushed out exclusively on social media and emails. And we created 2 very compelling videos that we pushed out on our social media and streaming in streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. Not Netflix, doesn't have ads, but Hulu and some of the others streaming services that do have ads. And people loved these ads because, well, it worked. Let me show you the first one.
My birth mom was a scared teenager when she was forced into a late-term abortion. Because of a doctor's mistake, I survived, but my twin did not. I was left broken and hurt. Late-term abortion is real, and so is the pain. But Colin Allred wants abortions right up to birth. Abortions that are too late, too painful, and too extreme for Texas. Will you stand for victims? Please don't vote for Colin Allred.
Now that's Claire Caldwell. A lot of us really know her very well. Isn't that sensational? That was actually developed for an anti-prop campaign that was going on in Florida, the same November election. Claire said, hey, this is out there. See if you can use it. We hired a company to use artificial intelligence to redo her voice for Texas. And I think it worked really well. So the second one.
My name is Melissa Oden. I'm the survivor of a failed saline injection abortion performed on a healthy woman at 31 weeks. Kamala Harris ignores the existence of me and thousands of abortion survivors like me.
My name is Tabitha Jackson. When I had an unplanned pregnancy, I sought out an abortion because I thought I had no other choice. Fortunately, I found a pro-life pregnancy center that offered me real hope and assistance, the kind that Kamala Harris refuses to give. Now, I am proud to say that my child is in college.
I'm Claire Caldwell. When my birth mother was forced to have an abortion at 13 years old, my twin was dismembered, but I survived with medical help. Kamala Harris would have let me die.
My name is Amy O'Donnell. When I was a college student, I had an unplanned pregnancy. With lots of support, I gave birth to my son. Now, I lead a pro-life organization that helps women like me choose life for their babies and for themselves.
My name is Ashley Sosa. I was born prematurely at 26 weeks, towards the end of the second trimester. With medical help, I survived and thrived. Kamala Harris supports abortion of unborn babies at 26 weeks and later.
Kamala Harris doesn't speak for me.
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 Now that was done by our communications team, in particular Amy and Ashley, and I just think they did sensational work. We don't have a Fifth Avenue or Madison Avenue budget, but I think we did really, really well, and we pushed that out. We had I think hundreds of thousands of views through social media and on these streaming services. So I thought we did really well. We especially ran those in various markets across Texas, key markets, and especially South Texas, which did respond. I'm not saying we're the only one that was responsible for this huge wave of pro-life votes in South Texas, but I think we helped enormously. And to you all who donated to our state PAC and to our federal PAC, can't thank you enough. You can see we're putting your donations to really good use, and it made a difference. Now, we have a new president, and as Joseph said, and in just a few weeks, he has issued 9 executive orders restoring or advancing new pro-life policies. I mean, it's just, we've never seen anything like this. For example, President Trump signed an executive order enforcing the Hyde Amendment so that our tax dollars are not used for abortions and domestic problems like Medicaid. He reinstated the Mexico City policy. That goes back to President Reagan, blocking U.S. funding for foreign organizations that promote or provide abortions, like Planned Parenthood. He ordered that federal prosecutors not use federal law as a weapon against peaceful pro-life advocates, particularly people praying out in front of abortion facilities and so forth. So we are really grateful for how that is just transpiring, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. Now, the Texas legislature has begun, and we have begun meeting at the Capitol here in Austin, and they'll be meeting through May. That's their regular session. We're really grateful, and I kind of start out by saying this, for the pro-life leadership of Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and newly elected House Speaker Dustin Burrows, all of whom who are solidly on our issues. So, I mean, that's just sensational. So so many states would envy where we are. Now, my staff and I are spending a great deal of time meeting with legislators and their staff these days. We're advocating to keep the substantial pro-life gains that the legislature has achieved. Y'all, we have the law that we dreamt about for half a century, and that's called the Human Life Protection Act, and it protects unborn babies beginning at conception, and we need to keep that intact without being gutted. So we're trying to keep the Alternatives to Abortion program well-funded. Last session, the legislature appropriated $165 million for that very worthy program. Prevent the gutting of that Human Life Protection Act by, well, there are numerous attempts to expand this very narrow, well-crafted life of the mother exception. In fact, there's already been more than 24 bills have been filed that would expand that exception, gutting the bill. Numerous attempts. So we believe Texas should protect unborn babies conceived in rape. We believe Texas should protect babies who have a fatal diagnosis, like Deirdre's baby, Bosco, or for any number of reasons. So far, as I said, more than a dozen bills have been filed, and we're tracking those and making sure that they're not getting any traction. We've all heard the claim that Texas law is endangering women's lives because doctors cannot perform abortions to save women's lives, because supposedly the doctors fear being arrested. Well, the opponents claim that women are either dying or going out of state for an abortion. Well, from this slide, you can see that claim is completely false. Now, I know speakers are not supposed to show graphs, numbers on the charts, okay? But that's for an average crowd, and this is an above average crowd. You're extraordinary. So let me just explain here briefly. Since the fall of Roe in June of 2022, reported elective abortions in Texas have plummeted from thousands per month to zero. Yes, zero. Now, you've heard me say this before. As Governor Abbott has said, our state's pro-life laws are saving babies' lives and they're saving women's lives. And these are the numbers to prove it. And in particular, since Dobbs, doctors have reported performing 135 abortions under the life or health exception. This is what I call the narrow, carefully crafted exception in the Human Life Protection Act. And that's from July 2022 through September 2024, the latest month we have data available. Now, these are very rare, but of course, very tragic cases. No doctor has been prosecuted, sued, or sanctioned by the medical board for any of these abortions. No pregnant woman has lost her life for a lack of an exception, a lack of a medical necessity exception, even with more than 360,000 births in Texas every year. So the fact is, our law really is saving women's lives. And we push this out with news releases again and again. And you know what? No one's criticizing these data, these numbers, because it really is just what's going on. Now, we are trying to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort countering that false narrative about our laws and promoting the culture of life through our social media, news releases, emails, interviews with conventional media, reaching literally millions of people in Texas and throughout the nation. So if you look at this summary, we've got, how many people did we reach? 76,000 on Facebook, 15,000 on TikTok. TikTok's still going, we all know that. YouTube, 6,000. X, 1.6 million, formerly known as Twitter. News articles in which we're quoted or referenced, 53 million. So that's around 55 million people. Now, is that the last year? No. Is that the last month? No. That is an average week. That's an average week. So we are spending, with your investment, with your support, we are reaching an incredible number of people and really moving the needle and helping craft the conversation on our issues. And let me tell you that some of the media out there are pretty tough. Now, let's keep in mind that it's, that this, again, this is for an average week. Now, sometimes we really do get fair articles, and I want to point out, I think this is on your table, there's an article in the Austin American Statesman you can bring home and read about the Texas Rally for Life. And some of our folks, I'm quoted, Deirdre Cooper's quoted, Senator Cornyn's quoted, Ellen Troxclar's quoted. I mean, and it makes us look like very nice Texans, like we are. And I mean, I just was astounded at this, but I'll tell you, that's kind of what we have. We're getting the reputation from the media as being a very sober source that they can rely on. And we're frequently getting calls, and I, and especially Amy, are fielding those calls in print media and in broadcast media. Now, you Leadership Circle members, thank you for being here. It's just so huge, and we could not do it. This is the key, the core of our fundraising is you Leadership Circle members. Now, what's the Leadership Circle? Well, for you guests, it's a way to give $1,200 to $10,000 or more a year. If you're a guest, we do have a nice little pledge card you can fill out. You can fill it out or use the QR code. And for just $100 a month, you can make a huge difference in Texas. And if you're not ready for that, we have lower levels you can do. But why don't you really think about, if you're not part of the Leadership Circle, really think about that. If your membership, it's a 12-month membership, is up for renewal pretty well, Lance gives you a call, please, please respond. Or just send us an email, or you can do it online.